Namaste my friends. In this video I will discuss about the tests which are done to assess the secretory functions of the liver, and that is the normal serum protein levels and serum protein levels, Ag ratio and serum albumin level and prothrombin time, and the tests which are done to assess the metabolic functions of the liver, that is galactose tolerance test, and tests which are done to assess the this one detoxification function of the liver, that is epuric acid test and bromosulfothalin test, and tests which are done to assess the liver enzyme panel test. In that there are AST, ALT and alkaline phosphatase, gamma glutamyl transferase and 5-nucleotidase. So first we will see the tests which are done to assess the secretory function of the liver. As you know, all the plasma proteins are synthesized by the liver except the immunoglobulins. All the plasma proteins are synthesized by the liver, and so we can, by assessing the plasma proteins, we can assess the liver function test. How the liver is functioning, we can assess it. So what is the normal serum? First is normal serum protein levels. What is the normal serum protein level? It is 6 to 8 milligram per deciliter. And normal serum albumin level is 3.5 to 5.5 milligram per deciliter. Okay, there is slight variations from lab to lab, but it is 3.5 to 5.5 gram per deciliter. And normal serum globulin levels is around 2.3 to 3.3. Okay, there is slight variations, as I told you, in different laboratories, gram per deciliter. So what happens in case of liver diseases? The synthesis of these plasma proteins decreases. The synthesis of albumins decreases. Okay. So Ag ratio, one thing is very important in this Ag ratio, that means albumin globulin ratio. Albumin is to globulin ratio. This is very important because in the normal Ag ratio is 1.5 is to 1 or 2 is to 1. Okay, that means 1.5 for albumin and for globulins it is 1. So the normal Ag ratio, as I told you, 1.5 is to 1 or to 2 is to 1. And this normal Ag ratio decreases in several conditions. Okay, that means for this Ag ratio to decrease, either the albumin should decrease, that is in the numerator, either albumin levels should decrease or the globulin level should increase. Understood this concept? Either albumin level should decrease or the globulin level should increase for the Ag ratio to decrease. Okay. So when the albumin levels are decreased, in kidney damage. Whenever there is kidney damage, more amount of albumin is excreted in the urine. More amount of albumin is filtered through the glomerulus and excreted in the urine. So the Ag ratio decreases in case of whenever there is kidney damage, and whenever there is liver diseases. In case of liver diseases, albumin is not synthesized. Properly. So again, the Ag ratio decreases in case of liver diseases. And in case of kidney damage, albumin level decreases, so the Ag ratio also decreases. And next thing is when these globulin levels will increase. These globulin levels will increase in case of chronic infections. Whenever there is chronic infections, globulins, that is immunoglobulin levels will increase. So the Ag ratio again decreases. Understood? Ag ratio normal is 1.5 is to 1 to 2 is to 1. It decreases whenever there is kidney damage or liver diseases where albumin levels are decreased, or it decreases whenever there is globulin level increases in case of chronic infections. Okay, this is about AG ratio, which can be asked as a 3 marks question, short answer question. And next is prothrombin time. Okay, prothrombin time. This prothrombin is liver synthesizes this prothrombin. Okay, liver synthesizes this prothrombin, and prothrombin time is delayed. Prothrombin time is prolonged or delayed in case of liver diseases. And one thing you have to note here is, in case of vitamin K deficiency also prothrombin time decreases. So how to differentiate whether the prothrombin time is delayed, whether due to the liver diseases or due to the vitamin K deficiency? How to differentiate it, whether it is the prothrombin time is getting delayed either due to liver diseases or due to the vitamin K deficiency. This we can differentiate by giving vitamin K before and after the by assessing the prothrombin time before and after administering vitamin K. Okay, before and after administering vitamin K, if we assess the prothrombin time, we will come to know whether this delaying of prothrombin time is either due to vitamin K deficiency or due to the liver diseases. Okay. Next is the tests which are done to assess the metabolic function of the liver. So how do we assess the metabolic function of the liver? So in the liver, both carbohydrate, protein, fat metabolism, glucose, galactose, fructose, all metabolisms are occurring. So how do we assess whether the metabolism is occurring properly in the liver? Means by galactose tolerance test. Why only galactose tolerance test, not glucose or any other thing? Because galactose is metabolized only in the liver. Not in any other part of the body. Okay. First, galactose is converted into glucose and metabolized. Okay. This occurs only in the liver. So that's why we take galactose to assess the liver function, whether the metabolic function is occurring properly. To assess that, we use galactose, not any other glucose, fructose or any other thing, but only galactose, because in galactose metabolism occurs only in the liver. So this galactose tolerance test, how do we do it in the laboratory? So first we have to know the half-life of galactose. Half-life of galactose is 10 minutes. Okay, in 10 minutes, what is half-life? Suppose if you give 30 gram of galactose, it will come to 15 grams. Suppose if some amount of galactose is running in the serum, it will come to half of it. That is called half-life. In the 10 minutes, the half-life of galactose is 10 minutes. And we give 30 gram of galactose to the patient. When the patient comes to the laboratory, we give 30 gram of galactose, and then we assess the capillary blood. We assess the capillary blood for galactose in every 10-minute intervals. In every 10-minute intervals, we assess the capillary blood for galactose for the next 1 hour. For the next 1 hour, we assess the capillary blood for galactose. So what happens? The half-life of galactose, it increases. Okay, the half-life of galactose increases during liver diseases. Why the half-life of galactose increases? Because the metabolism is not occurring properly. If galactose is not metabolized properly, the half-life increases. That means more than 10 minutes. The normal half-life of galactose is 10 minutes. If the galactose is not metabolized properly in the liver, that is during liver diseases, the half-life of galactose increases. So once again, how the test is done in the laboratory? We give 30 gram of galactose to the patient, and then we assess the capillary blood for galactose in every 10-minute intervals for the next 1 hour. Okay, capillary blood is assessed for galactose in every 10-minute intervals for the next 1 hour. This is about a galactose tolerance test, which is done to assess the metabolic function of the liver. Next is the test which are done to assess the detoxification function of the liver. Okay, liver is a very important organ which does the detoxification. Liver is a very important organ which does detoxification function. So which are the tests which are done to assess the detoxification function? One is hippuric acid test and bromosulfothalic test. Okay, out of this, hippuric acid test is very important from exam point of view. They can ask it for 3 marks question or short answer question. Hippuric acid test is asked in exam. Okay, so liver is a major detoxification organ. So benzoic acid, what is hippuric acid test? Benzoic acid is detoxified to form hippuric acid in the liver. Okay, benzoic acid is detoxified to form hippuric acid in the liver and excreted in urine. So how do we do this hippuric acid test? So in hippuric acid test, what we do is we give 6 gram of benzoic acid to the patient. To the patient we give 6 gram of benzoic acid, and what happens? The liver will detoxify it and convert the benzoic acid into hippuric acid and excretes in urine. Whereas if there is liver disease, this detoxification of benzoic acid will not occur. Whenever there is liver disease, this detoxification of benzoic acid will not occur. So less amount of hippuric acid is excreted in urine. Understood the concept? So we give 6 gram of benzoic acid to the patient, and what happens? Liver will usually detoxify it into form hippuric acid and excretes it into urine. Whenever there is liver diseases, this detoxification function will not occur properly. So less amount of hippuric acid is excreted in urine. This is about hippuric acid test, which is a very important short answer question. And next is bromosulfothalin test. Bromosulfothalin is a non-toxic dye which is excreted by the liver. It is a non-toxic dye which is excreted by the liver into bile. Okay, and this bromosulfothalin, how do we do it in laboratory? Okay, in laboratory what we do is we give 5 milligram per kg body weight bromosulfothalin. 5 milligram per kg body weight bromosulfothalin we give intravenously, not through the mouth, but we give the dye intravenously. So usually this dye is excreted after the end of 45 minutes. After the end of 45 minutes, almost all the dye is less than 5% of the dye is usually retained. Okay, at the end of 45 minutes, less than 5% is retained. But whenever there is liver diseases, more amount of dye is retained, because it is not being excreted properly or being detoxified properly. More amount of this dye is retained in the liver. Okay, understood all of you what is bromosulfothalin? Bromosulfothalin is a non-toxic dye excreted by the liver into the bile. And how do we do this test in laboratory? We give 5 milligram per kg body weight bromosulfothalin. We give it intravenously. Remember this, intravenously. And usually at the end of 45 minutes, less than 5% of the dye is retained and everything is excreted. Okay, usually at the end of 45 minutes. But in case of liver diseases, more amount of this dye is retained. Why? Because the detoxification function is not being occurring properly in liver diseases. This is about the hippuric acid test and bromosulfothalin test. Remember the test, how it is done. Hippuric acid, we give 6 gram of benzoic acid to the patient, and normally it is excreted in urine. Hippuric acid is formed and excreted in urine. Whereas in liver diseases, epuric acid is not formed from benzoic acid unless amount is excreted in urine. And bromosulfothalain, we give 5 milligram per kg body weight intravenously, and after the end of 45 minutes, less than 5% of the dye is retained in the body. Whereas in case of liver diseases, more amount is retained in the body because it is not being excreted. Okay, understood. And the next thing is, now we will go to the liver enzyme panel. This is important thing. This itself can be asked as a short note question. Enzymes, liver enzymes, because in the laboratory the clinician will more commonly see the enzyme profile, liver enzyme profile. So the enzymes which are enzymes which indicate liver damage. Okay, these enzymes are present inside the liver cells, hepatocytes. Okay, these enzymes are present inside the hepatocyte, and whenever there is damage to the liver, the hepatocytes break and these enzymes are released. These enzymes are released into the circulation. Okay, the enzymes which indicate the liver damage are AST and ALT, alanine transaminase and alanine aspartate transaminase. Okay, alanine transaminase is also called serum glutamate pyruvate transaminase. And the normal level, you have to remember the normal level from exam point of view, because they can ask it for short answer question. What is the normal level of AST, ALT, alkaline phosphatase, or they can ask it in Viva OC. In Viva OC also they can ask it. Okay, so alanine transaminase or serum glutamate pyruvate transaminase, the normal level is less than 35 units per liter, less than 35 units per liter of serum. And next, coming to the AST or aspartate transaminase, it is also called serum glutamate oxaloacetate transaminase. This was a previous name. Okay, nowadays we don't use it as SGOT, but nowadays we call it as aspartate transaminase. Normal level is less than 40 units per liter of serum, 40 units per liter of serum. And whenever there is liver damage, these cells, from the liver cells, these enzymes are released into the serum and the enzyme levels increases, AST, ALT level increases whenever there is liver damage. So when liver damage occurs, so can you give some conditions like hepatitis, inflammation of the liver, like viral hepatitis and chronic hepatitis of the liver, neoplasms of the liver. So in all these conditions, whenever there is damage to the liver, cirrhosis of the liver, in all these conditions, whenever there is liver damage, the serum enzyme level of AST and ALT levels will increase. So sometimes in acute inflammation like viral hepatitis, it can rise up to even thousands. Okay, normal level is less than 35 and less than 40, whereas in acute inflammations it can rise up to even thousands, 3,000, 4,000 like that. We have seen in laboratory in most of the times. And also in case of cirrhosis of the liver, neoplasms of the liver, whenever there is liver damage, the AST ALT level will increase. And the next thing is coming to the enzymes which indicates obstructive diseases, indicate obstructive diseases or obstructive jaundice, that is alkaline phosphatase, gamma glutamyl transferase or transpeptidase and 5-nucleotidase. Now first is alkaline phosphatase. The normal level is 3 to 13 king angstrom units per DL. 3 to 13 king angstrom, Ka, okay, not unit. It is king angstrom, Ka units per deciliter. 3 to 13, that is alkaline phosphatase. So this alkaline phosphatase itself can be asked as a 3 marks question. So this alkaline phosphatase, it is increased to a moderate extent, okay, to a moderate extent in case of hepatic jaundice, whenever there is hepatocellular damage, to a moderate extent it can get increased. And but whenever there is intrahepatic or extrahepatic cholestasis, whenever there is intrahepatic or extrahepatic cholestasis or damage, obstructive diseases, this will increase to a marked extent. So there is marked increase of alkaline phosphatase in case of intrahepatic and extrahepatic cholestasis or obstructive jaundice. And in case of bone diseases like Paget's diseases and Ricketts disease, there is increase to a very high extent, okay, around 10 to 25 times it will be increased in case of bone diseases like Ricketts and Paget's disease. And also in case of, and the last thing is in case of neoplasms, in case of even neoplasms like carcinoma of the head of the pancreas and carcinoma or neoplasm in the bile duct, okay, on all these conditions, this alkaline phosphatase levels will increase to a very high extent, around 25 times also it can increase. Next, coming to the gamma glutamyl transferase or transpeptidase, the normal level is 7 to 50 units per deciliter. Okay, this is increased in case of alcoholic cirrhosis. Alcoholic cirrhosis, this is a very specific enzyme which increases in case of alcoholic disease of the liver, that is in case of alcoholic cirrhosis. Remember this, a very important point. Gamma glutamyl transferase or gamma glutamyl transpeptidase is very specific to alcoholic liver disease or alcoholic cirrhosis, and it increases very high levels in case of alcoholic liver disease. The normal levels is 7 to 50 units per DL. And the last thing is 5-nucleotidase. This enzyme normal levels is 2 to 17 units per DL units per liter. So this enzyme also increases in case of obstructive liver diseases. So like intrahepatic and extrahepatic cholestasis and neoplasms of the neoplasms and carcinoma of the head of the pancreas and of the bile duct. Okay, this is about the liver enzyme panel. Okay, liver enzyme panel or the liver enzyme profile, which can be asked as a short answer question. Very important short note also it can be asked, short note or short answer question. So what are the important significance of liver function test? Why we have to do liver function test means, first important is for the differential diagnosis of jaundice, to differentiate whether the jaundice is of pre-hepatic or hepatic or post-hepatic type, we do this liver function test. The next thing is to assess the severity of the liver disease, and prognosis, what will happen in future to the liver disease, to assess the prognosis and severity of the liver disease. Also we can use this liver function test. So this is about liver function test. Just I will revise what I have done in this video quickly. So tests which are done to assess the secretory functions of the liver are protein levels, normal serum protein levels, 6 to 8 gram per deciliter, and normal albumin level, that is 3.5 to 5.5 gram per deciliter. Then Ag ratio, that is normal is 1.5:1 to 2:1, which is decreased in case of whenever there is decrease in albumin or increase in globulins. Albumin levels are decreased in liver diseases and kidney diseases, and globulin levels will increase in chronic infections. And tests which are done to assess the metabolic functions of the liver, that is galactose tolerance test. Here we give 30 gram of galactose to the patient and assess the capillary blood for galactose in 10-minute intervals for 1 hour. Okay, so the normal half-life of galactose is 10 minutes, which will increase in case of liver diseases. Next is tests which are done to assess the detoxification function of the liver, that is hippuric acid test and bromosulfothalin test. In hippuric acid test, benzoic acid is detoxified to form hippuric acid. So here we give 6 gram of benzoic acid to the patient, and liver will detoxify it to form hippuric acid and excretes in urine. Whenever there is liver diseases, less amount of detoxification occurs and less amount of hippuric acid is excreted in urine. And in bromosulfothalin test, bromosulfothalin is a non-toxic dye excreted by the liver into the bile. In bromosulfothalin test, we give intravenously or we inject 5 milligram per kg body weight of bromosulfothalin, and after 45 minutes, usually normally less than 5% of the dye is retained in the whereas in case of liver diseases, a large amount of dye is retained in the liver because detoxification function is not occurring properly. Next is coming to the liver enzyme panel. In the liver enzyme profile, first is the enzymes which indicate the liver damage. They are AST, ALT. They are increased in case of viral hepatitis, acute hepatitis, chronic hepatitis, liver cirrhosis, carcinoma of the liver, neoplasms. All these cases, the levels increases, and in case of acute viral hepatitis, the levels can go up to in thousands. The normal level is less than 35-40, and the level can go up to thousands. And next is the enzymes which indicate the obstructive diseases or obstructive jaundice in the liver, that is alkaline phosphatase, gamma glutamyl transferase and 5-nucleotidase. This alkaline phosphatase is increased in moderate amount in case of hepatocellular diseases or hepatocellular diseases, and increased to marked extent in case of intrahepatic and extrahepatic cholestasis or obstructive jaundice. And this gamma glutamate also in case of bone diseases, also in carcinoma of the head of the pancreas. In all these conditions, alkaline phosphatase levels will increase to a marked extent. And the next thing is gamma glutamyl transferase, which is increased in mainly in alcoholic liver disease or alcoholic cirrhosis, very specific. Okay, normal level is 5 to 50 units per liter, and next is 5-nucleotidase. Normal levels is 2 to 17 units per liter, and the 5-nucleotidase level is increased in case of again obstructive liver diseases, that is intrahepatic or extrahepatic cholestasis and case of neoplasms of the liver. Okay, thank you.